To my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Truly grateful. So many channels you could be watching. You're watching mine. I'll be leaving today. I'm headed down to Zamboanga City to see my son, visit him. I hadn't seen him since June. Check up and see what he's been up to. But I'm going to stop in Dumaguete first. So I probably won't be leaving till Tuesday or Wednesday headed to Zamboanga. I'm not going to ride that to-go and I'm not going to fly. What I'm going to do is there's an alternative route you can take. You can catch the fast cat from Dumaguete to Dapitan, which is northern Mindanao. It takes about 3 hours. And then catch the bus from Dapitan, well, really Dipolog. Because once I get to Dapitan, I'm going to have to take a hubble motorcycle to Dipolog. Then I'll catch the series to Zamboanga. That's about 8 hours. I don't mind doing it. I'm used to doing it. But before I get into that, because I'm going to do a tour of Mindanao while I'm there. I'm going to go to Davao. I'm going to go to General Santos, Sarangani Province. I'm going to show y'all some of those places I've been talking about. Glen and all of that. You know, I'll be by myself so I don't have to worry about, you know, the safety and all of that of Merlin and the kids, because there's no problems down there, but it give me a little peace of mind. I'm going to go to, it's either, I think it's Surigao, where they do all the surfing and all of that. I'm going to check out all of that while I'm in Mindanao, because I don't know what time I'm going to be back in Mindanao. So if you see me down there, you want to have dinner, coffee, whatever it is, any of my viewers and subscribers that are down in Mindanao, let me know, especially when I get to Dipolog. I don't know a whole lot about Dipolog. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But first, one of my subscribers, he messaged me, said he thinks he experienced culture shock. And I was kind of shocked about that, because I'm like, well, he never told me why. He said, you ought to do a video on that. And I said, well, I did one a long time ago, like 18 months ago. And he never responded like, well, what was your culture shock? What shocked you? Because to me, after a while, you're no longer shocked. It just becomes something that you're used to seeing. And culture shock is in the eyes of the beholder, because I'm going to tell you something. Paying $140 rent is a culture shock to me from where I come from. And I had it pretty easy. My rent was $900 US. It was going up to $940. But hell, paying $140 rent, that's culture shock to me. And I'm pretty sure it is for a lot of my subscribers who come here paying $150, $175. It doesn't have to always be the negative stuff. Like, I know what he's probably talking about. He probably had to flush the toilet with the bucket, or he probably saw them cooking using copra and firewood outside. Excuse me. I went to the province and seen something different. That's all it was, you know, but there's other ways that you can be shocked when you enter into another culture. You know, not having to beg for sex, man. It's a culture shock to me. I don't have to get on one knee every night and beg and plead and negotiate and hire a lawyer and all that just for some intimacy. That's culture shock to me. It's culture shock to a lot of people. It doesn't have to always be negative, and because I guess a culture shock is just what you're experiencing, what you're seeing, living, experiencing. I really call it the nitty gritty, but I was hoping before I made this video that he would have gotten back to me to talk about what shocked him. Because eating fresh seafood on a regular is a culture shock to me. Where I come from, in Louisville, Kentucky, that's the Midwest. In America, you don't get fresh seafood. the best thing you can do is go to one of those pay lakes and get some stocked, catfish. That's about it. But as far as lobster, crab, shrimp, I can get the best shrimp and prawns, right out of the ocean every day. Every type of fish you could possibly imagine. Salmon, mackerel, what's that one? The marlin, lapu-lapu, excuse me, red snapper. You name it, you can get it, man. Bangus, they call it milkfish. It's fresh, right out of the ocean over here. That's a culture shock to me, because I'm used to getting my fish out of the frozen fish department in Kroger. And even if they do have the display out there, where it looks out, it's already unthawed and everything. The guy messed my wet dream up when he told me, he said, this is the same stuff that you're getting out of the frozen department. We just get here early and set it out in the display. But yeah, that's another type of, culture shock. Besides, some of the things you're going to see over here. You may be riding down the street and a guy's, peeing on the side of the road in clear view of everybody, like he's in his own bathroom. That may be culture shock to you when you get over here. Culture shock to you may be child labor. A lot of times you're going to see children working over here. Full-time jobs. Whether it's a maid, whether it's in the marketplace selling stuff on the street as a vendor, you're going to see that. And that may shock you for a little while, but as you stay over here, it no longer becomes a shock. It's a way of life. And it doesn't make anybody inferior or superior. But I'll tell you one last thing before I talk more about my trip. Getting sunburnt in December here, it's culture shock to me. Right now, it's getting cold where I live. And by the time December rolls around, it's freezing. I'm an insurance agent, and I'm out there in the elements, man, and I tell you what, it's brutal. So for me to be able to wear flip-flops, be in the ocean, walking along the beach in December, that's a culture shock to me. I don't care what nobody says. Just being treated the way I am over here and respected is a culture shock. It doesn't have to be anything negative or something that's going to, turn your world upside down. Look at Curly. I love that we live over here, and I'm in no hurry for everybody to move around here, because it's like living on a farm. It's a culture shock, man. I live in the city where I'm from, and I can literally touch, well, not when I was leaving, because I lived in Shavley. It was a little bit better neighborhood, but where I grew up, you could literally touch the house of your neighbor when you're going around the backyard. That's how close we live. I could see what they were having for dinner. But as you can see here, it's all spread out. It's a culture shock, but I'm not shocked anymore by anything that goes on over here, because I live here now. It's just what I consider a way of life. But I just wanted to kind of touch on that a little bit, because we always talk about getting culture shock. And I'm sure when I go back to America to visit my kids and grandkids and my family and whatever, it's going to be some reverse culture shock. I'm probably going to experience some things. I know the pace is going to be shocking. The attitudes of the people is going to be shocking. But yeah, I'm headed down to Dumaguete today. I'm going to do my extension. And a lot of people are calling me about the extension, so just let me talk about that just for a brief second. The guy says, hey, I was told that I had to have a throwaway ticket with a 30-day departure date. That's true. But then he said he would have to leave the country, come back, and then extend for the 90 days that he needs. And I was like, no, you don't have to do that. You do need the onward ticket, which they call it a throwaway ticket, or a round-trip ticket. And if you don't use your return part of your round-trip ticket, that's going to be your throwaway. That will get you into the country. but it has to be within 30 days. Then you can extend for 29 days. You don't have to leave the country when your 30 days is up. You get 30 days upon arrival. And the United States is a non-visa country with the Philippines. So your valid passport and your booster shots and all that. And if you're unvaccinated, you can fly into Cebu if the airline is going to allow you. And you can do I think it's a 6-day quarantine. Check with the airline, check with the immigration. But I returned the guy's email and told him, yeah, you don't have to leave and come back. You can actually stay here for your 90 days, but you're going to have to, it's a process. 30 days before your 30 days is up, go to the nearest immigration office, extend for 29 days. That'll give you 59. Now, when you go back to extend again, they're going to charge you for your ACR card. You got to pay for that. Then you can extend for 1 month, 2 months, or 6 months. There's been some confusion there. A guy says, hey, they wouldn't let me apply for 6 months. He was in Iloilo. He said, because he's not married. And I was like, that's not the policy. So many of my subscribers, Oliver that's here, living here now, he just came from Dumaguete and got 6 months. Michael Beat Your Life, my moderator on my live stream, he just came back from Cebu 6 months. So you should be able to do up to 6 months. And then we, as an American or any non-immigrant country, you get 36 consecutive months in the Philippines. Then you have to leave for 1 day, come back, and start the process over. So I'm going to Dumaguete I'm going to do 2 months. That's what I always do. I got that advice from a young Swedish guy down in Dumaguete. He said it just works out better. Anything can happen in 6 months, guys. And then if I have to go home or whatever, I'll take another trip. I've left all that money on the table. I know you don't like to, go back and forth to immigration, but I use JRC now for my extension. It costs 1,000 pesos. Big deal. My time is worth more than that. I do the same thing that I have to do with immigration, actually less, because if I go to Dumaguete myself, I'm going to have to go somewhere and get those 2 passport photos and all of that. JRC will take your picture right there in their office. They'll do all that for you. You just come back the next day, which I don't care about that. You still have to leave your passport with immigration. They're right next door to the immigration. That's worth 1,000 pesos, what they do for me. So then I'll leave from there and go down to the Dapitan, which the Dapitan is just like a port city. It's really not a whole lot to do in the Dapitan. Now, the Polar, they've got that Dakak beach resort. I may go there for 1 or 2 days. I've heard so much about it. Then I'll catch the bus down to Zamboanga. I'm going to take him shopping, just catch up with him. Maybe stay there about a week or 10 days or something. And then I'm headed to Davao. Check, see if TJ's still there, because I think he's supposed to be going to, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to Thailand. General Santos, I'm going to go down to Glen. I'm going to show y'all this, one of the most beautiful beaches, and nobody's there. It's almost a deserted beach. It's in the Sarangani province. I believe that's where Pacquiao's from. I know that when he was a senator or congressman, whatever he was, I went to his office one time to meet him. But of course, he was in the States preparing for that Ricky Hatton fight. Remember that fight where he knocked the guy out in the 2nd round or whatever it was? But I'm going to do some traveling, man, just to spread my wings a little bit and really do some vlogging, see some different areas, because I've basically been Manila, Cebu, Dumaguete, San Carlos City. I talk about these other places that I went and visited years ago. Now I'm going to do like a return trip. So if you see me down there, and hey man, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. I'll buy you something to eat. Let's kick it. Now, where this is Margarita Village Extension. Now the reason why it's undeveloped for anybody who's new to my channel, hey, is because this is privately owned. Somebody owns this whole big stretch of area. The city doesn't own it. Hello, my Buntag. Good morning. The city doesn't own it. So that's why there's no paved roads, there's no sidewalks or anything like that. This is one of the sorry stores we go to. There's another one down here. There's like 2 or 3 on this little stretch. And then once the city buys this, they will fix it up just like Margarita Village across the road over there where I used to live. Where John moved in my house after I left. That's Margarita Village. This is Margarita Village Extension. There's a little kitty. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If you walk up on this hen with her chickens, you're going to ask for trouble, guys. I'm going to give you a warning. Don't do it. I mean, they will attack you. We were in Toledo and one attacked Booby. Scared me, scared everybody. Because we didn't see the chicks. She was under the table. And Booby just happened to reach for one of the chicks. And oh man, there's another one with chickens. We're thinking about getting a goat and a cow just to let them graze out in front. Just have something to do. We're not going to sell them or anything. They're basically going to be pets. But yeah, look for these next upcoming vlogs. Just trying to do something different. Especially for my dreamers. Because the guys are over here. You can spread your wings. You can stretch your legs if you want. But what I found out is a lot of guys, they stay still. They stay in the same little area, which you save a lot of money when you do that. Especially if you renting long term. Because you're still paying your rent and then you got to get the hotel, the Airbnb. But somebody that's here on vacation, I would say see as many places as you possibly can. See, a lot of people bring their pets over here. Well, not pets, but their animals over here to just graze. But thank y'all so much. Look for me. My next vlog will be in Dumaguete. Then I'll take you as I make my way into Mindanao. I know a lot of you guys are shaking in your boots when you say Mindanao. There's nothing to be afraid about. And you'll see that. We're going to shout out to OG Fred. I see he's in the Philippines. I may make my way up to see him before he leaves, him and his wife. I think somebody sent me a video. They saw him and Dale. No, not Dale. Dana Middleton, you know, the travel agent. They were on one of those channels. So he's in the Philippines. But thank y'all so much for stopping by today. If you're in America, it's getting late. Before you let your head hit the pillow, please find somebody to help. If you don't want them late grocery runs, beer runs, weed runs, halftime runs for the football games, and you see somebody out in the street or wherever you see them, buy them something to eat, buy them something to drink, give them a few dollars. If you're in the Philippines, it's early. I guess it's about 8 o'clock. Michael Beach Your Life and his beautiful girlfriend just left here. They attended the meet and greet. They stayed in the guest house. No, there's no excuse not to help somebody. I actually have to do the 1,000 peso pandemic giveaway drawing today because we were so busy Friday, Saturday, and then I was exhausted yesterday. Thank you to everybody who was able to attend the meet and greet, which the meet and greet is not just to meet me, it's for us to meet each other and put some names to some faces, guys, okay? It's not about me for real. Remember, this vlog is more than a vlog. It's a community. It's a support group. And, man, we had a great time. We had so much liquor, man. We had to bring it back. People they had a good time, man. So today I'll do that 1,000 peso pandemic giveaway drawing. Thanks for everybody who watched the video. That was just a inkling of what really happened. You know, it was a great turnout. It was well over the 50 people that we reserved for, because I had a bill at the end. We're going to help people as much as we can today, because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. We help other people. We help ourselves. Take care. Stay safe. Stay COVID free. I'll see you next time. Now, a lot of you guys who live in those fancy palaces back in the Western world, this may be a culture shock to you, but not to me. We used to do this when I was little. My mother would wash the clothes and hang them up on the line. Nothing like good fresh smell of clothes, sun-dried clothes. See, we got our washing machine out, so she'll be washing today. Take care, stay safe, stay COVID free. I'll see you next time.